Hello, lovelies.
Hey, guys.
Bear with. Who's first on? Reverend L Good 33. Yo, what's up?
So I'm just typing something, you guys.
Yeah. Give us 2 seconds.
What up?
Okay. Hang on. What's up, Daniela? Who do we have on tonight? We're at our friend's house.
We're gonna do it here tonight.
Shout out to our boy Rex.
Oh shit. Okay.
Don't
This
do
goes
that.
like this, yeah?
I don't know about how I'm so tired.
Alright, it's gonna be alright.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. Oh,
Hello,
God.
everyone. Oh, thank you, Blimmer Guy. Appreciate it.
All right, okay. We gotta get you. You gotta scoot more over.
Okay.
There we go.
We're good?
Yeah, but
Okay.
tilt it. Tilt to the left. To the left.
Oh, to the left.
To the right. To the right.
Good?
Okay.
All right.
Awesome. What's up, beautiful babes?
Thank you, Key Sloan. So, we're gonna slay tonight.
We are gonna. We've been slaying for the last couple days. Sessions have been good.
Sessions have been really good.
So powerful.
Lots
Love
of downloads.
That. Lots of downloads. Lots of really great downloads. How are you all feeling this lovely evening, afternoon, morning, wherever you are in the world?
Do you guys have any good, juicy questions for us?
We hope so. Thank you, Jessica. I'm bringing in a little 50s.
She is. She's Madonna tonight.
You wanted me to sing like a virgin, and I couldn't do it truthfully.
Yes, I can, Loru.
What can you do?
Read auras.
Oh.
I think we all have the capability of reading auras.
We all have the capability to be psychic, to be intuitive, to read auras, to
It's our birthright.
yeah.
And we have to open up that gift and take time to do that.
If you so desire.
If you so desire.
What are the juicy questions tonight, babes? What's going on?
Give us
What's
something
the energy?
good.
Yeah. Somebody said Cindy Lauper. Okay.
That's a better one. How do you deal with family members not understanding your spiritual growth? That's a very good question.
Yeah.
I would say that
Slay your shit and set an example.
Exactly. Because the thing is, if you care too much about wanting to be seen as an awakened being, then you're still in your ego. If you just embrace your journey and your awakening process, and you're not trying to impose that or teach others what you're doing, because your family hasn't changed. You're changing. All right. So, and sometimes when we change, when we awaken, we expect other people to change as well. That's not the idea here. The idea is that the awakening is a gift for you, given to you by your higher self, by God, by the universe, by whatever your higher power is. And then the whole point of the awakening, and I understand this because I went through the process. At first, you're like, oh my God, I've awakened to magic and euphoria and bliss and all this stuff. And I want everyone to feel this because it exists. This thing that we didn't know that we had, these abilities, these gifts, this feeling. But then you realize, oh wow, this spiritual awakening was given to me so that I can better myself and come into more compassion and acceptance. So if you just go in there and remove the blinder or the lens or the filter of what you expect them to be, and you just accept them and live from your heart, then you're not going to be separating off and wanting them to view you as an awakened being. Does that make sense? Because we do that sometimes. We're like, oh my God, I found the key code to life. And it's like, we end up separating off because we think we're higher than them. And it's false because
that's going into spiritual egotism.
It's spiritual egotism, yes.
Egotism.
Yes.
Yes.
And so we have to get out of all that hierarchical stuff, because no one is above anyone, and everyone is truly having a valid experience, including your family, and they're going to awaken when it's appropriate. And in the meantime, still be the proof. Be the proof without having to show them what you've awakened to.
Yeah.
Be that walking example.
Yeah, it's like the same principle of just walk your own talk and then be the example, so that they can start to ask, like, wow, what's different about you, or what's shifting, or how come, right? And then they start becoming curious. The other thing on a sort of energetic level, right? And I want to say cellular level, especially if it's family members that are like your blood relatives, right? So there's a blood lineage. What can happen when you start shifting is, as you start unprogramming and reprogramming your own, we use lots of different terms, whether it's like DNA coding or emotional coding or patterns, programs, all your rewiring, restructuring,
rebundling.
What it's doing is basically, as you're doing that within you, it's kind of like, think of when you have a sweater, right, and you pull the thread, there's like one little thread that then as you start pulling, it starts unraveling the sweater, right? So if that sweater is attached to the same lineage cellularly and energetically, and the blueprint of your family lineage, then as you make the shifts, on some level, energetically, they will also get the benefit of the work that you're doing within yourself.
Yes.
So even if it doesn't hit them fully yet on a conscious level, it's always making a shift.
Yes.
But I can 100% say that any shifts that either I've made, or that my family that my family's made, it's had an impact on both sides.
Always, even when they're negative, when their response is negative.
Well, and that's just based on a person. What do you mean?
Well, when we go through transformation, a lot of people will say to me,
you mean, like, when it sometimes doesn't feel so good?
Yeah, when it doesn't feel good. Like if you start to awaken and your family starts to treat you differently, or they get negative, that means that they are transforming in that moment. They may not be aware
have
of
an
it.
opportunity in that moment.
Your frequency, the frequency that you emit is contagious. So it affects people. And one of the metaphors I got a few months ago, which was really powerful, I was meditating, is like, you think of your spirit as a garden, all right? And you embellish your garden every day. And your neighbors are all around you, and they see your house, they see your yard. And if you keep making it, beautifying it every day, add some roses, keep bettering your garden. Don't be
forget-me-nots.
Yeah, don't be overly concerned with what other people are doing, because they're not asking you for help with their garden. Yeah. So keep embellishing your own, and they know where to find you. They'll knock at your door, they'll ring your doorbell.
I like that. Stop looking at anybody else's garden.
No.
Plant lilies in your garden.
And embellish your own.
Yes.
Because what happens is, when we try to save everyone, we actually halt the process. We actually delay our own increase in frequency.
Right.
And the idea is to keep moving higher and higher. And I don't want to say it's like the catch me if you can, but I've been playing with that lately. Catch me if you can. It's not catch me if you can. It's more like join me if you so wish.
Oh, that's nice.
Join me if you so wish.
But I happen to be moving like a speeding bullet.
Yes, and so I'm opening up. I'm going to amazing realities, and it's happening faster and faster and faster. And you're welcome to be on my ship. And but yeah,
if you can keep up and play the same game, awesome.
Yes.
If not, no sweat.
Yes.
I was gonna say one other thing about that is just to be careful of, right? Okay, so a lot of the time. This can be, so see if this resonates, right, with everybody. This goes for everybody, right? The pattern, the program that we have of wanting to seek approval from the parental figures.
Huge.
And I say parental figures because that could be somebody who is your parent or somebody who raised you, right? It could be your sister, it could be your brother, whoever you want to get that validation from. And so as you're going on your spiritual journey, if you're discovering different things, then are you asking yourself, am I worried, or am I concerned, or do I need their approval of my spiritual journey? Or can I just rock my spiritual journey and be the speeding bullet at whatever pace I want and do me, because that's what my spirit is feeling super inspired by? And awesome, if they acknowledge me for it, cool, but if they don't, then it's not going to stop your forward growth and momentum.
That's beautiful. And also, bear in mind, you guys, most people have no clue, especially if they're unconscious or asleep. They have no clue what's going on in here or in your spirit. So they probably weren't paying attention to you anyways before. But it's true. Like, people who are asleep are focused on themselves.
Your family doesn't listen to you.
No, but when people are asleep, they're self-absorbed. They're focused on themselves. They're stuck in a prism.
That's where the majority of people
Most people.
Which is what we're trying to get out of, to be a little bit more considerate of both sides.
The other thing I wanted to share is a lot of the karma, the karma programming, the karmic realities that you still participate in, the matrix programming. You usually choose a family where that programming is embedded in the dynamic. So your family is pretty much your own matrix, if you will, for a lot of us. And then it's about being like the bird that leaves the nest and being like, all right, I'm going to go be a way shower. I'm going to go forge my own path.
We talked a lot about spiritual sovereignty.
Yes.
Everybody, no matter, like birds, at some point, they have to fly out of the nest on their own.
They do.
So as you reach your own spiritual sovereignty and finding your independence with that, then it doesn't necessarily matter who's okay with you doing that and who's not. As long as it's making you and your soul fucking happy. Awesome.
Also, as you start to awaken and it starts to unravel for you, every layer of the bondage that you had with your family is going to start to be revealed to you. So don't get stuck in like having to prove or having to seeking that validation, because the whole point of ascension is unification. It's about unifying that separation from within. So as long as you're still separate from your family, you're still in a duality reality. That's the bottom line. What we're trying to move towards is a space of consciousness where we are in unity. It's a unity consciousness where you're living from the heart. You're not needing them to validate you. You're not needing them to verify that you're on the right journey. You're just loving them unconditionally. That's what it's about. This journey is about that. It's about dropping judgment. That's a good distinction. If you still want or have an expectation that they're going to now see you because your third eye can now see, all right? Validate you.
You'll be chasing that more than the importance of chasing your spiritual sovereignty.
Yes.
I think we did we slay that?
We did. We slayed.
Making sense?
Okay.
Helpful? Good. Supportive?
We slayed. We're so funny how we talk.
Hashtag slay.
Yeah. Namaste.
We're not nerds. Question. What else do we have? What do we have on your side? Because that one was on my side. We love you guys.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for joining Soul Circle.
Thoughts on Barbara Marciniak. She's great.
Yes. I used to listen to Barbara Marciniak when I would put my earphones in as I was falling asleep so that it would sort of go into my subconscious. So
yeah, she's powerful for sure.
Yeah, find the people that you resonate with listening to, and then at the same time find your own language around it, find your own connection with
your
it.
Own your own soul stamp, your own little signature,
your own soul signature.
Yeah.
And even stuff that we say, you know what I mean? Some of it, comes from some of the other mentors that we've had, but a lot of it comes from what our connection is and, whatever we're channeling and speaking in the moment. So
take what resonates and leave what doesn't.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty on point, yo. What do we got?
They don't even know what I'm going through. I was asleep once too. We have to drop the expectation of wanting people to know what you're going through, because that's still playing the victim.
Wait, what was the what now?
They don't even know what I'm going through. Her family doesn't even know what she's going through. We all go through things, your family included, all right?
Yeah, your family's going through stuff. Do you know what they're going through?
Their experience is real to them. And just like your experience is real to you. And at the end of the day, it's about really going within and finding that connection and doing it. There's a lot of aloneness when you wake up spiritually. And the reason why we sometimes feel alone or like we don't belong is because we're supposed to do it alone with God and our higher selves, because that's the only way that you can really go inside and dig deep and pull that invisible shovel out. Now, you do have resources like people like Serah or me or other people, whoever resonates.
We have Soul Circle now.
At the end of the day, a lot of the journey is going to be alone, right? I feel alone sometimes because I'm dealing with things that people really don't understand. Most people don't communicate with aliens or like stuff like that, or tap into the galactics. The galactic core, and so it's supposed to be alone, because
I don't have a lot of friends because not a lot of them talk about going to the galactic core.
Right. and it's so crazy because you're kind of thrust into your body and then it forces you to go inside.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you might meet someone who's like-minded and 2 months later, that person is still stuck on the same subject and you're like, I'm over with this friendship.
Yeah.
Because it was built on the commonality.
Dependency and the commonality. Yeah. And you guys have probably heard me talk too about like when my awakening happened around when I was 25 after a whole near-death experience, Kundalini awakening, all this stuff. There were spirits in the house. There were all kinds of different things happening. There wasn't soul circle. There wasn't anybody around. I had few and far between people to ask it. I had to go find them. But even still, it's like, well, what words do, like, this is before I even knew what the word empath meant. I had a spiritual healer and she was like, oh, you're an empath. Do you know that? And I'm like, Aka, what? Like, I don't know what that is. And so at the same time, I was angry, right? Because I was like, there should be support to all of this, right? And who is going to know like what I'm going through, right? So I can resonate exactly what she's saying with at that time.
Totally.
Because there wasn't anybody around and I'm like, what is this Kundalini stuff?
Oh my God,
when I had my dark night of the soul, like who, what?
When I had my Kundalini awakening and I was thrown on the floor off my chair and I started doing yoga poses all over I was like possessed. But anyways, I was the night that I had my Kundalini. You didn't have anybody to ask? The night that I had my Kundalini, I'm like, oh my God, everyone who practices yoga must have had a Kundalini awakening. So I'm like, all right, yoga. So I was like, let me go join yoga. I'm sure I'm going to find my family there. And so I go in, I'm like, you guys, something happened to me last night and it's crazy. Like I was thrown on the floor and I started doing yoga, but they're like, what's Kundalini? Like, we have no clue. I'm like, I guess I'm going to have to do this on my own.
Yeah. So you just find you have to go at some point and ask, right?
Yes.
I started doing meditations, right? Before that was like a popular thing or whatever. So just check in, ask the questions, and seek out, whatever does resonate. But you guys are gonna know, even if we say something, like tap in and be like, I don't know if that's like correct for me.
Yes.
Right? Like it doesn't have to, everything that we say doesn't have to be correct for every single person. Just like things that resonate with some of you guys may not fully feel correct for us.
Yes. And see, if you're going to work with mentors or teachers, whatever, find the ones that don't mess around. They're like no-nonsense teachers because...
That walk their talk.
That keep you grounded, that call it out.
Yeah.
And it might not feel good. A lot of these pills are very hard to swallow. I have people all the time who are like, well, is he coming back? I'm like, you really want me to decide that for you? You're going to give me your power? You know what I mean? And we've reached a new...
And he's not if you keep pushing like that.
Yeah, don't give your power away to psychics and all that, expecting them to give you the answer. Find a teacher who's going to help you become a creator. Help a teacher who's going to...
find the answer within you.
Yes, and help you become a manifester.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're always going to form that dependency on them. And then you're going to get mad. It happened to me today. A woman got mad on a call because she's like, all of you psychics tell me the same thing. I'm like, yeah, because you're trying to understand it rationally and linearly. And it doesn't work like that multidimensionally. Right. This is about, it transcends your belief systems that are keeping you in that old thought system. This is a multidimensional existence now. It's completely different.
Yep. We all technically have the answers within.
We do.
Do we need some guidance to get us from like one end of the bridge to the other side? Absolutely. I still needed support. You still needed support. We still sought out.
Serah helped me last night. She helped me with something last night.
Yeah, we still need it even today.
We still need it. But and it is an investment. Like for me, my Kundalini awakening, if I knew how, because it's been an amazing and painful journey, but I would have paid... I would have paid if I had $1 million. I would have given $1 million to have that activated, because
taught how to like be a snake charmer, because that's very different too.
Because the thing is, if everything is founded on energy, if everything is a materialization of energy, the chair that you're sitting on, the phone that you're watching through, all of these things are materializations of something that started off as energy. Yeah. If you understand how to work with your energy, then you can activate and birth new realities. That's priceless. You can heal yourself. You can go into your programming and clear all the stuff that doesn't need to be there. To me, that's priceless.
Yeah.
I would have paid $1 million for that. I didn't have $1 million, but I would have.
I didn't pay $1 million, but I've paid a lot of money to go and research and find all the secrets to the universe.
You have to get obsessed with your spirituality. Yeah. You have to get obsessed with your ascension process.
Turn into a spiritual nerd.
And it is an investment.
And then you can be like galactic nerds like us.
Right. Because we take a lot of the money that we make and we put it back into the business.
Yeah.
Because so that we can reach more people, so that we can buy equipment, so that we can do whatever. Yeah. This is an investment into your soul. In you.
Yes.
If someone asks me for a free reading, right away that shows me that they're still running fear. Right? So if I let them get away with that, I'm not helping them, because for myself, I was in such a lack-based mentality most of my life. So I was cutting myself off from abundance. When I started spending it, not on teachers, for me it was different. It was spending it on homeopathy when I wanted to get off my meds. It was like spending it on whatever, right? On treating a friend.
Well, the things that were valuable to you the most at that particular time for your next level of growth.
What was valuable to me was spending money in any way I could to show the fear that I wasn't afraid of money. All right? But once I started conquering that fear, vanquishing it, then the money started pouring in. Right. I had been self-imposing lack and poverty onto myself all those years. So if someone asked me for a free reading, fear, blocking your root chakra, I'm not going to let people get away with that. Because if they invest in themselves, it's an automatic upgrade in their body. Automatic. It's not about the money for me. It's about giving.
It's not even about a money
it's
conversation.
Not a money.
It's
about
the
energy.
value of you, and if you're wanting to invest in your next level. It's never ever a money.
It's never about the other person. The people like me or Serah, we're the ones who can see what's still stuck in your body, and we're like, giving you a free reading is only going to keep you where you are.
Right.
And it's going to devalue ourselves. So this is about an energy exchange. So invest in yourself. Go get chiropractors. Go get rolfers. Go get massage therapists. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't have to be spiritual. That's the thing.
Right.
It can be taking care, getting a massage.
What feels good for you in this moment. Yeah, if it's in your physical side, then take care of your physical side, because then that's going to be your relationship with your body. If it's on the spiritual side, then do that. If you've been working with wondering your patterns, your programs, all that stuff, and you need to get on the mental side so that you can get to the next level, it's tap into what's best for you where you're at, because either way you're going to get to the next level and then need something different.
Yes. And it may be that you're the person who's been, and this goes out to a few people watching because I can feel it, to the people who always are there for others, constantly giving and pouring all of themselves into other people at their own expense. The way that you heal may be that you start taking yourself out for manicures or pedicures and fully immersing yourself in that experience. Or say no.
And then so that you can say more yes to you. Yes. Because then that's your value, and thinking then if you need to be there for everybody else all the time, then like they won't value you or something like that. Where in truth, your value is where you set your healthy boundaries and say, you know what, I need me time.
Yes. A lot of this journey is about synchronizing your physical self with your light body, synchronizing your physical self with your higher self. So if you listen to what your heart needs, heart, emphasis on heart, not your mind. If you focus on what your heart needs, what your body is asking for, then you start to sync up with that higher operating system, that higher consciousness operating system. If you negate what your body is needing, you're just in your mind and you're running adrenaline, stress, anxiety. You're fragmenting yourself. You're polarizing yourself, which keeps you in the duality reality. So in order to shift into a new reality, you have to change your old mentality. In order to shift into a new reality, you have to alter your mentality. You have to start feeding those positive thoughts. You have to start choosing the right mentalities, making good choices, because choices dictate your reality.
And get rid of the old ones, because if those are still there, you know, we talked about that before. It's like polishing a turd or sweeping everything under the rug. Like, I'm sorry, like I just get a little...
Yes.
I mean, if... Putting some sprinkle on some, you know, something not good. Like
it's like putting fragrance when you smell. It just makes it worse. When someone smells really bad and they put fragrance on.
And then they smell like BO mixed with like really bad cologne or
good.
Like perfume or something.
Yes, not good. We have to go to the core of it. We have to find all those deeply embedded programs, the fear, the fighting against, the combativeness, the conflict, the contradicting you.
All the things that you're saying to yourself that you don't even know that you're saying to yourself. So, and it's funny because I had this conversation as well with somebody where, you know, mantras are really super good, but if the mantras still have the intention underneath of not believing in self or some sort of negative connotation, then it's going to wipe out the positive mantra.
Yes.
And you need your mantras to be in alignment with your values. That way you have an emotional connection to your mantras. Don't just repeat somebody else's mantra because it sounds good.
Yeah.
If you don't have if it doesn't create a charge for you, then energetically it may as well just not be there.
Yes.
Okay, we're kind of going on a tangent.
Let's go on to yours.
Okay. Helpful. We love you guys.
We love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. This Wi-Fi connection is on point.
Yes. Is that what it is? It must be the Wi-Fi. It's the spiritual Wi-Fi.
This Wi-Fi is on point.
We've got some good galactic antennas today.
Yes.
That's awesome.
And we're teaching people how to access their internet so that they can go in and pull that information that they need, their Wikipedia of all their past lives.
That just happened. Can you bring up your Akashic Records?
You can do what
your Akashic
Google,
apps.
You can do the Google thing, but without hands. You don't need your hands. You can literally just go and you pick up all the records.
Your Akashic apps.
Yes. And by the way, you guys, your Akashic
Instagram is an Akashic.
Instagram's on point. I love Instagram. But your Akashic records are constantly coming forth into your reality every day. Mm-hmm. What we inherit Akashically, ancestrally, all that negative stuff that we're still carrying from past lives, that served us in those lives. All right? If you had to make a living for your family, in a past life you were in survival mode, that served you. But now a lot of what we're doing is, as you go about your day, those old Akashic records are going to come forth.
The lessons in them were what you needed at that time, and you may still be running the lessons from those now. Mm-hmm. But you can, once you figure out what the lesson is, you can delete the program. You're
clearing your Akash, and clearing your Akash really just means that you're clearing old karmic imprints. All right, old timelines, if you will.
Yeah.
And when you do that, when you clear the old timelines, then you're unanchoring yourself from those lower realities, from those old realities that once served you, so you can give thanks for them and to them for what they helped you get through. And then you move to higher timelines. All the time. Catch me if you can. Join me if you like. Whatever I said. But you don't sit there. You don't wait.
Speedy bullet, jump on. Okay, there was this question. Now I can't find it anymore.
How do you protect yourself from other people's negative vibes? Would you like to answer that?
Yeah, is that on yours or mine? Okay. How do you protect yourself from people's negative vibes? The quickest, really super easy way, if you're feeling it, right? So, okay, let's break this down. One, hear what you're making it mean about you, right? So either way, you're going to take it on as a belief system if you choose to agree with it. And if you choose to agree with it, it means that it's saying something to you, or you're having a belief about it that then is, let's say, either triggering your victim side, or you get to be the hero, one of the villain, victim, hero, right, within that triangle. So it's going to trigger one of those three for you. The quickest, easy way to just release it is feel into it. What is it saying? What am I making it mean? And do I want to take this on as a belief in this moment? If not, then visualize the energy almost sort of bouncing off of you. And I sometimes like to say return to sender, kind of like when somebody sends you a piece of mail, right? And you don't live there anymore. So if they're sending you something that you're I don't really agree with this. And even if you don't really know what it fully is, right? But you're just okay, I feel all of this, whatever, sticky energy around me. Then sometimes I'll do this before I go to bed. I'll say, please bring back any energies that I have expelled and called back in them that are mine, right? So anything that I've put out there that
where you disempowered
where
yourself.
I disempowered myself, or anything like that now I call back to me, and I bring that in from the top in, and then from the bottom out, I'll say, and release anything that I unconsciously brought in to me, either consciously or unconsciously, and please release that. And if it was something that somebody put upon me that had ill will, then please return to sender that with no ill will towards them.
Right.
So I never want to send, even if somebody's projecting something onto me, right? Then I'm not going to throw it back at them this like with the same ill intent.
Yes.
It will energetically go back onto them. And I've had an experience people getting sick or not feeling well or whatever. So if there was any sort of energetic something, and I've heard this from other people, I've told that to do as well, and then somebody starts not feeling good. So it's not that there was any intention that you sent the energy back with ill will. It was whatever they sent to you that you just sent back.
That's beautiful.
But I like to try to at least put without ill will.
I love that.
So that you're not putting an energetic like negative charge onto it at the same time, right? So basically don't attach and return to sender.
And I love that. That's beautiful. Yeah. And then what I want to share about that with the negativity, because the question was how do we
how do you stop attracting
negative vibes?
Yeah, or taking on negative vibes.
So what I would say to you is try to find that marker in time where you made an agreement with the negativity, because everything that you feel in a room that's negative, everything that you feel in a relationship that's negative is yours. It's something, it's a point, it's a marker in time where you gave your power away. All right, where you made an agreement that, and you took less, you accepted less.
Right.
When you're in your full power, you don't have to protect yourself anymore because you embody truth. You don't let stuff in anymore. If you've allowed the negativity and that was yours, no energy can vibrationally match up to you unless you hold that same energy. The programming that you hold in your body is a program that you hold for what you attract in your external reality. So if there's negativity in your life, like for me,
that was a good statement.
The program that you hold in your body is a program that you hold for what you attract in your external reality. Okay? So for me, I don't attract drama because I'm not interested in playing in that reality. Everything that you attract is serving a purpose. Every person that you attract is serving a purpose. It's
a reflection of how you're operating within.
Of what you now need to make a choice to either discard or continue to play in. So
within yourself.
Within yourself. Yep. So whenever you feel the negativity in that moment, you're being offered an option to either say, I have no interest in playing in that old reality anymore, because you're not subjugated to who you were. You're not indebted and enslaved to who you were yesterday or even this morning. You can operate from your highest power now. All right. Or you can say, oh, it's negative. And then you go back into judgment. If the negativity is there, if it's existing in your vicinity, in your spiritual zip code, if it's existing in your spiritual zip code, it means you're still judging it. So you're their counterpart in a way. You're still playing the game.
You're still in villain, victim, hero.
Yes.
You're still in drama triangle.
Yes. So you have to make a choice that if it's no longer compatible with your being, you leave that old reality behind. You don't owe them anything. And
you don't owe them anything, but if you do want them in your life still, right? Because it doesn't mean you have to cast
you
out
take
anybody.
responsibility.
You take
for
responsibility
what you did to invite that negativity into your reality.
Yes.
What did you do? Were you a people pleaser? Did you go against your truth? Did you go to the movies when you didn't want to go to the movies? Did you pay for them when you really didn't have the money that day? Right. What happened? Where did you give your power away? That negativity spawned from that. It spawned from your action, from your choice. Now you have to reverse it. This entire journey is about reversal. We're reversing back to the truth of who we are, to the pureness, to the purity of who we are. So you have to find all the negativity, all that stuff, and reverse, counterclock, right?
Counterclockwise, and communicate to them also what your shift is. Because the other thing that's super important is that we stop communicating with people and we make these adjustments and we make these new understandings that we have within ourselves, and then other people are still operating in relationship to us like our old versions of ourselves.
Yes.
So granted, there's still people who will look at you like the old version of you for however long they're going to do that. And if you can then, the more that you're open and communicative and say, hey, this is a shift that I'm making, and you can actually have them hold you accountable to that.
Yes.
So say, this is what I'm making a shift within myself, letting them know that you're making that shift. And so then as you start acting differently, whatever it is, right? Speaking differently, then it won't be a total shock to them. And then you also won't get frustrated as to how come they don't understand you now anymore.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes. Every single thing that you're experiencing in your physical existence, everything is yours, because your physical reality is a hologram. It's a hologram
of your own universe.
You're the engineer. You're the freaking
actor, director. We did
commander,
this
engineer. You're
the CEO,
the architect of your reality.
Yes.
All right.
You're the owner, the CEO.
Yes.
You're the boss.
If two people have nothing to share, if the universe can't work with helping either of them grow, they're not going to match up. Everything matches up with you for a purpose. Mm-hmm. So if you're still calling something negative, you're still going outside of yourself. Instead of saying, all right, what is this negativity bringing up in me that I need to resolve back into love? Oh. What is this negativity bringing up in me that I need to resolve back into unity? Because it's obviously separate from me right now. Because I've separated off from consciousness, because consciousness is the unified whole.
That's what alchemy is.
That's alchemy.
So if you're getting an energy on some level, then you actually have the power and the ability as a conduit of bringing in energy and alchemizing. Thank you.
Yes.
We're playing with some really fun words today.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And so alchemy.
You're throwing a snowball and turning it into a fireball while it's in the air. Oh. That's kind of what it is. That's alchemy. Alchemy is like, well said. All right, snowball, turn into fireball. Great, thanks.
Analogy is like amazing. You'll just come up with these analogies. Think about that. I was going with...
That just came to me.
I was going with snowflake. You turned it into a fireball. Okay.
Yes.
We see how you roll. Awesome.
But if you keep yourself in that old story, nothing in your life is going to change. It's not going to change. Mm-hmm. So you're just setting up the same stage with the same actors and the same thing. It's like everyone has watched that episode 1,000 times. Switch it up. If you do my whole theory in life, if you do something more,
theory in life,
my whole theory is if you do something more than twice, it's a pattern. You got to break it.
Oh,
it's a pattern
that you can track.
Yes,
because you have to be able to track your own patterns to know that they're patterns.
Yes.
Some people are like, I keep doing this. I'm like, but it's a pattern. No, it's not. But it keeps happening.
Totally.
Okay. Yeah. Just being honest with yourself.
Right.
Okay. And one person said too, because this is a really important distinction.
Okay.
She said, so if I'm meeting guys that aren't looking for anything serious, then I'm also not looking for anything serious, ? But I so am looking for something serious. So. Okay.
Consciously you are.
Consciously, yes.
Consciously you still hold a program for those guys who are unavailable.
Okay, so and I would second that with consciously, yes. Subconsciously, your pattern and program is stating on some level that your connection to yourself isn't at the level that it could be that would allow you to attract somebody to commit to you the way that you're saying that you want them to.
That's beautiful. Can you just say the one thing, the first thing you said was really beautiful, because you said if you're not in alignment... You said if you're not in alignment with your best self, you said something along those lines.
Did I?
Yeah. Anyways, it was really good. That I'm gonna watch that on
Rewind.
The replay. But it's
basically
true.
it's not that you. Okay, so this is what we said. Consciously, right?
Consciously you want a serious relationship.
Subconsciously, your program, whatever that is, that got created, whatever, sometime when you were 5, right? And you took on the belief system that you needed to be super independent, and probably this, and I work with so many women around this too. So I'll do a shout out to all of the amazing ladies that I've worked with, because what's happening is on some level, you've been suppressing your feminine and you haven't been committing to her. So you, as a woman that wants to attract a man that will commit to her, if you're not committing to your personal feminine within you, then you're never going to attract the external reflection of a man who's going to commit to you.
Yes.
Did I make that? Was
yes,
that
and
more
you have
sense?
you have to be all in.
If I could say something else.
The other thing, can I say something?
Yes.
So you have to be all in with what you're trying to bring in.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. You have to be
You have to be
all in with what you're trying to bring in. All
within
in.
yourself,
Because
so that you can attract it.
For me, and I'll share something personal. For me, I have like a wound of like vulnerability. Sometimes it's not vulnerability isn't a wound of abandonment.
Yes.
So sometime all my whole life, I've attracted these people that are
it's
much
scary for you to feel vulnerable sometimes. That's
yes.
everybody. Is that not everybody on here?
Yes.
FYI, I think
so.
we can
So
all...
the thing is, sometimes I will attract people that I really don't want in my life. But they can sense the wound. They can sense the wound, but then I have to fully commit to what I'm wanting. Fully commit, and nothing else can be allowed.
And fully commit to loving that wound on a deeper level, so that it won't show up in your external reality that way.
Put it this way. All the files that are stored in your subconscious and in your unconscious, they're hidden from you. They can attract things that you don't want, that you're not trying to attract, but they hide in all the nooks and the crannies of your energy field, and they bring in things that you don't always want. Now, the things that you don't always want, though, are going to show you what you're still holding on to, what you don't want anymore, which reality you don't want as a part of where you're going anymore.
Yeah.
So if you attract these guys that are not available, try to track, what are you feeling? What is it about their energy that you once made an agreement to, right? That got you caught in a loop.
Yeah.
And asking yourself, do I still want that or do I not? This is all about choice, you guys. All of it is about choice. Your choice is going to determine your reality.
Yeah.
Because your internal reality is your outer reality, and your outer reality is a reflection of the inner. It's all interconnected. It's the same thing. So
nobody's getting out of that maze.
But they've made it pretty easy for us, these higher dimensional beings and our higher selves, because
if we could just look at it.
Because if I was alone on this world, then I would have to go in my subconscious all day long. Yeah. They've made this reality easy because we have feedback. And when I'm with her, she triggers me, or she brings things up in me, and vice versa.
Totally.
In the world has made it easy for us, because the second we get triggered, we get a choice now. Do I still want this? Do I still not? But we don't get reactive. We don't counteract. We don't get aggressive. We don't contradict. We don't debate. We don't defend. We don't fight.
And if we
that
do,
keeps you
then
in the old.
If we do, because that still happens with everybody, then you can say, okay, let me track that. And how did that happen? And what caused me to get triggered with that? What was said, or what did that thing that was said make me feel, right? And then find out what the deeper wound is around that, and then give that some love and all that fun stuff, right? So yeah.
If you just keep investing in your higher realities, in those higher timelines, and Serah and I were talking about this today, when you make a choice, you're all psychic. All of you watching right now are psychic. When I'll give you an example.
You only have the blocks keeping you from seeing all of that.
If you have a woman or a man who's cheated, okay, and she has all these different options. Call them timelines, and she doesn't tell him. That's a timeline that she's choosing. She's not going to tell him. It's going to stay hidden, meaning there's still darkness there. All right. And that's going to play out. There's going to be a chain reaction. You can even go into the chain reaction if you want, but I'm going to keep it simple tonight. The second timeline may be, hey, I have to come clean now. All right. And if I do, he's going to leave me, but at least I'm operating from integrity. That's another timeline. And you could see it playing out. He may leave you. That's your psychic ability
on
activating.
One timeline.
That's your psychic ability coming online, showing you how it's going to unravel. And then there's an even higher timeline, right? There's all these different timelines, and our choices, we get to choose which reality, which timeline we want to relocate to. Now, the more that you feed into higher timelines, the more they're going to lock in. And all you're going to start experiencing is joy and peace and happiness and abundance and all that stuff, because you're only engaging in higher dimensional timelines. That's all you're doing. So
and you mean higher dimensional timelines. What he means is the timelines that only have peace, love, joy, and
integrity.
Integrity.
Respect towards all.
Those.
Compassion towards all. Consideration to the person that you cheated on. You're robbing them of their free will.
That goes to family too.
Everyone deserves their free will. God gave everyone a free will. Anyone right now could take their life if they wanted to. God's not going to stop them. That's their free will. You can go buy someone flowers right now. That's your free will. So if you're robbing someone of their free will, you're on the dark side. So if you've cheated on anyone, you're operating from the dark side, because God doesn't even do that. God gives you your free will. It's yours. So if you're robbing someone of their free will, then that's really bad karma. So, but in that moment, you can decide to step up, take responsibility
Yep.
for what you created, the monster that you created. Be accountable. All right. And then say, I'm going to choose a higher timeline, even though it's going to hurt for a while. It has to, because I created this thing and it's going to hurt people. But in the long run, I'm redeeming myself. In the long run, that person has a chance to go find someone else or to forgive me. But we have to operate with the highest integrity all the time. When you feed those higher timelines, those old timelines don't have a hold over you. You're the governor of your reality. You're the ambassador of the universe. You become that. Cool. That was slay. Good. Do you have anything you want to add to that? What's going on in your mind?
Yeah.
Okay.
We love you guys. Was that like, that was a total slay on his part?
Thank you. I guess we're going to have to upload this live.
Yeah, I think you covered it. I don't really think that I have anything else to add on that.
Okay. I did a lot of talking, so why don't you handle the next question? You handled the next question.
But all of that was super badass, and I think
babe.
super important for everybody to hear, right?
Well,
Sarah
gave me an amazing pep talk last night, and I feel amazing today.
So now he's on fire.
I love you.
I love you too, baby.
All right.
Okay, what else do we have? Yeah, see, everybody else is like, no comment. Awesome. That's what we call a slay. Awesome. Okay, next question. Who do we have over on my side? They're all saying thank you. Yes, namaste. They got it. Love it. All right, hang on. Let me do a quick search. And for the person who said, there was somewhere that I read, connecting to your feminine, what we were talking about before, send me a message. I've been doing that for the past couple weeks, connecting women with their feminine again so that they can actually attract what they want.
You've been doing an incredible job.
Thanks, baby. You guys are confirmations. Awesome. I love that. You guys are on fire. Thank you. Okay, so since we're on this topic,
that came for you. That's a great question.
Okay, so the next question was, well, what about attracting narcissists? Okay. The name of the game with this one, right? And I've had many other people ask me this as well, right? Because then the standard question would be like, okay, if I'm attracting narcissists, does that mean that then you're a narcissist? That's not how that game is played. So remember, everything that's happening on the internal is yes, the external is a direct reflection of your operating system. But now bring in the villain, victim, hero triangle, right? Within that dynamic, you have your relationship with you and other people, but you also have your relationship with you and your own ego, which is also the inner child, which is never something that you're going to get rid of. But if you're attracting a narcissist, then a narcissist becomes a villain because you're operating as the victim. So as long as you're continuing that cycle and that storyline, then that's what you're going to attract as the external. This goes back to then how we were also saying, if you're a woman, right, and you are suppressing or have been suppressing more of your feminine side, because either you've had to take care of yourself, so you've had to raise up your masculine, right? That's one thing. And it doesn't mean that running a masculine, if you're a woman, is a bad thing, right? It's like, absolutely, you need that if you want to start your own business and all those things, wonderful. But if you're not then listening to your internal feminine and you're suppressing her or ignoring her, then you attract the man who is then going to suppress you as the feminine, which can potentially look like a narcissist. Right? If you're manipulating yourself thinking that, okay, I need to only run my masculine, I'm strictly just speaking on the side of, this is to women right now because there's a different dynamic for men. However, energetically, this can apply for men as well because more men can be running higher feminine energy. And there's female narcissists. So, but it doesn't mean that then you're the narcissist, but it does mean that you're running a program of the victim mentality to then attract them as the villain, right? And it's a flip side with a narcissist because they also operate internally like they're the victim. So it's that's a whole other, like, I've been studying that for such a long time because I attracted it into my life way too many times and I needed to break that pattern. So yes, I totally get that. And in all honesty, I was running victim programming. Because about 95% of society is. We have the same dynamic set up within our government, where the government is supposed to be our hero. Terrorists are supposed to be villains. That puts us automatically in a victim mentality. So everything that's primarily around us, the hero's journey, all of this stuff, this movies that we watch, everything is reminding us subconsciously to stay within this program and
the
run
dualistic reality.
The dualistic and the villain victim hero mentality. So,
notice how most people play a side of the coin, you guys. We're always playing a side of the coin, and moving back into the higher aspect of self is about becoming the coin. And I talk about that a lot because it's not about engaging, right? And countering and the yin and the yang and the push and the pull and the victim villain and pointing the finger.
That's such an old story.
It's about logging out of that game and back into your highest version of the self. And we'll get to a place in society, not now, but soon. And those realities already exist where we don't throw labels on people. All right. A narcissist can only be called a narcissist if you've allowed that in your field, if you've allowed that into your reality. The key with narcissists or whatever that is, pay attention to where you're giving your power away on a subtle level from the get-go.
Yeah.
Are you tagging along? Are you saying yes to everything? Make sure that you nip that in the bud, because that narcissist attracted you just like you attracted him because his soul is wanting a lesson.
Yeah.
So you're actually doing him a disservice if you don't nip it in the bud and call him out. If you call him out from the get-go.
But they'll get really mad, by the way.
They'll get really mad, but then they'll be faced with a choice. Like everything in life,
Absolutely.
when the negative comes up, you're faced with a choice. Whoa, this
and then you can leave them and love them
this
from afar.
woman is challenging me, and it's in the early phase. Things get really sticky once you're in it.
If they want to step up and be authentic, like the true soulful man.
Yes.
But this goes for both sides, is that women are being asked now energetically to be called into their divine feminine the same way that men are being asked to be called into their divine masculine.
Yes.
And what that looks like, and I'm totally going to give a shout out to my girl Erica, because I already saw your post, girl. So yes, I hear you and see you and I fucking love you. And that means creating a marriage of yourself within first.
Yes.
So that those energies of masculine and feminine can be balanced within you, so that then you're not needing the external from the charge, the energetic charge from the other one. Not saying that you don't need them, because yes, we absolutely need each other in relationship. That's where our dynamic of human connection comes from.
Yes.
But needing them from a place of, cool, I feel whole and complete and balanced, and where can we go from here, versus I need you to complete a void within me that I haven't filled yet.
It's you're trying to get someone to occupy a vacancy within you.
Yeah, exactly.
And you have to do that for yourself.
Exactly.
The human masculine was more of the aggressive. It was more of the let me suppress you, let me overpower you, let me shut you down,
control
when
you,
bring up having babies or whatever it is.
Right.
And then the divine masculine has learned how to surrender their lower aspects or their ego
and get in touch with their feminine side
in touch with their feminine, learning how to be. To me, the feminine is how to be. The masculine is how to do. All right, and that doesn't apply to men or women. It's both. We have to find the alchemy of both.
Yep.
So the divine feminine learns how to be. She's no longer attached to people. She's completely whole within herself. And then the divine masculine springs from that and can start doing from the place of being. You start doing without the attachment, without the lack. You do it because you know you've already found God within, that source of light within, and you're doing it because you're inspired. You want to share. You want to inform. You want to spread love and light. So the divine masculine and divine feminine is a whole new way. The human feminine was more of the victim because she had the human masculine in her life who was trying to suppress her.
Well,
so
and then she was the damsel in distress who was the victim.
Right. And so she was constantly suppressing. The divine feminine is the part of us when we go through an awakening process where we shut out the world. We start to detach from the physical reality. We learn how to be. We learn how to become autonomous from within. And then we go back out into the divine masculine. We're like, wow, now that I'm no longer attached, let me participate. Let me give.
Yeah.
Let me explore. Let me So that's the idea.
Yeah.
But your narcissist, all those words, they're going to go out the window. If you're calling someone a narcissist, you're still not seeing what you did to attract that. All right? We have to hold ourselves accountable for these terminologies, for these words and labels that we throw on people. At the end of the day, this is about, all right, I attracted a narcissist. It showed me what I was oblivious to, what I was still unconscious in.
Yeah.
And now that I've gotten that lesson, which to me, learning a lesson really just means you're remembering who you are. You're remembering. Now that I've remembered that this is not okay, I can be in my power. You integrate that power back in. And because you do that, you don't attract narcissists anymore.
Right.
Because it's no longer a match. It was a match because you needed that. There was a lesson concealed in it.
You still needed to learn a lesson.
Yes.
I still needed to learn a lesson. There's still so many people that I work with that are still operating and needing to know the lesson already. But we're all still learning lessons, and that's the name of the game, is figuring out the lesson faster so that then you can shift it within yourself and get out of the game.
Get out of the game.
So then you can actually play at your own game that you're creating, not a game that was created for you that you're unconsciously playing and you don't even know that you're playing it.
As long as you're fighting and calling people names and judging and all that, you're only fighting your own design. You designed this entire video game. So you're in opposition to your own brilliance. You're brilliant. You designed this game to make it like pretty difficult. It's not a beginner level, right? It's a pretty advanced level. So find every clue that you need to find and retrace back to the truth of who you are. That's the point here. It's a roadmap. And you set it up that way.
You're so intelligent that you created such a complicated game for
that
yourself
whining,
to get out of it.
That you're whining because you can't crack your own code. You can't even crack your own code. Come on, give yourself a pat on the back. We reprimand ourselves so much. You stop doing that. You are a beast. You created this incredible game before you were born, and now your third eye is being given back to you. Your spiritual vision is being given back to you. The only way that you can get that spiritual vision is if you get out of your own way. Stop fighting. Stop opposing. Stop objecting to the lesson. Take the lesson.
Get into
more gold.
Acceptance than resistance.
Yes.
I say that so much. The more acceptance that we have versus resistance to anything, masculine, feminine energies within, all of the above, the more acceptance that we have, the more harmony that we'll have within ourselves as well as in our relationship dynamics. And you guys have heard me say 1,000 times that how you do one relationship is a direct vibrational alignment to all of your other ones.
Right.
So if you get in touch first with more acceptance within your relationship with yourself, and then it will show up with all of your external relationships as well. Be that relationship with money, be that relationship to romantic partners, your relationship with spirit, your relationship to business, all of the above.
Yes. I was going to say, at the end of the day, it's just about choosing the higher road, okay? And making choices that are going to rewrite, recreate, create amazing realities. Those realities already exist. You're just activating them by making that right choice. They already exist. So you're birthing a new reality.
Oh, I like that.
From within. So make those high choices, take the high road, challenge your ego, because the ego doesn't like when you take the high road. It wants to interfere and recognize the word fear and interfere. And I heard that recently. The word fear is an interfere. When you're too interfered with your journey, when you're trying to control everything, it's all ego. Challenge your ego. I love challenging my ego.
And I just want to say that because so many times, right, we like bag on the ego.
Yes.
And we don't mean it the egotistical side of you, even though that can be an aspect of it. But your ego is your inner child.
Yes.
So it's not about getting rid of the ego. It's not about challenging the ego. I love you. And to me, it's about reintegrating the ego, because all it's doing whenever it's acting like a kind of a bratty kid, right? And something that needs to be challenged, then basically what it's saying is, I need attention because you haven't been giving attention to me. So as long as the ego needs attention, it's just trying to keep you safe because it's trying to keep you in the same patterns of an identity that it only knows because it built them to protect you when you were 5 or when you laid in those programs to begin with.
And it gets the energy.
It gets the energy.
And it gets your energy from that story. It gets your emotions from that story every time you repeat the same old story.
Yes. And as long as you can integrate the ego
Yes.
like a child,
yes.
and bring it into you and connect with it on a deeper level than you ever have before, then it won't cause chaos every
yes.
time you want to set a new goal and cause more fear to come up.
Yes.
It's ego integration,
yes.
not deletion.
Right. Ooh.
We love you guys. Ooh.
The ego's going to want to call them narcissists. The ego's going to want to say, I don't want to spend money. The ego's going to say, but this person hurt me and this person's a bad person.
Yes.
Challenge your ego. Give it love.
Yes.
Say, we're okay. We don't need to do that. We're choosing the higher road.
Yes.
We're choosing the higher vibrational timelines. We're going up together.
Level.
This is an embodiment process. You're embodying all aspects of who you are that got fragmented.
Yes.
All right?
Exactly.
You're bringing them back in.
Reintegration.
Bring them back in.
Awesome.
And as you do that, you are breaking the old programs that kept you separate.
Yes.
And you're bringing them back into unification.
Exactly.
All right.
We love you guys so much. Follow this amazing, beautiful soul. He does amazing Vogue. Spiritual Vogue. He does amazing sessions. You guys can find sessions to book with me, to breaking those patterns or getting in touch with your feminine, all of the above. You do these amazing spiritual channel guided. His stuff is on point. I can't even put it in a box to define it. So yes, all of that you guys can find on the link in our bio. We love you so much. Tag your friends. We love
help
that.
Help
us grow Soul Circle. We love that it's been growing so much, and we love you guys for showing up every single Tuesday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We love you.
Much love.
See you next week. Bye, babes.